Hey everyone, this is Julian from the Binary Lab. So in this video, we're going to talk about the government's taking everything away. So I'm originally from Singapore. I was born there, lived there for a good part of my life, and in the last 3 years ago, I moved over to Thailand. Greener pasture, so to speak, and be able to transit from living in a cramped apartment to actually a double-story house and space for a car and so on and so forth. And one of the things, I mean, being Singaporean, and I'm not sure, but maybe you may experience some version of this, is that do you in Singapore? There's a huge divide between the baby boomers and our generation. So there's a lot of things that our parents' generation had, but we didn't actually receive. Like for me, unfortunately, the batch before me, or rather, mine was the first batch that I was not allowed to own a government subsidized apartment and a private condominium at the same time. So it's like, even let's say my cousins, they were able to do so. They could hold on to a prime district. I mean, one of my cousins got a prime district like government subsidized apartment, and also a prime district condominium, which they both, from a very from years ago, he already was saying renting out both at the same time and receiving a very nice passive rental income while renting in a cheaper property. So like I wasn't able to do that. And a lot of people know that in Singapore, Singapore have the highest number of millionaires, right? But that's also because it's all in the baby boomer generation, because they benefited fully from the appreciation, the crazy appreciation in property price. I'm not sure about where you live, and maybe you can tell me in the comments beneath this video. But in my parents' generation, no, my grandparents' generation, land could be bought for dollars per square meter. But now, per square foot in Singapore, it goes by, over $1,000, and it's insane. And you know what? There are even property developers that are ready to buy over the developed land. Let's say there could be shop houses on it. There could be even other estates that made houses like mine, for instance, cluster houses of like mine that could only be around for less than maybe 10 years, and developers are buying it up for double the land price so that they can actually build high rise, and obviously they make a lot of money from that. And imagine, because when they buy the land for double the price of market value, and let's say if the land was purchased from parents' generation, grandparents' generation, how much of a huge crazy profit that would be. If you cannot imagine that, it's kind of like when, if you decided to care about the Bitcoin just after the Silk Road website was being closed. Silk Road was a place where people online were trafficking drugs and transacting through Bitcoin. So after that, Bitcoin fell from 1,002 to like about 400. And if anyone got into Bitcoin back then, over the last 2 years or 3 years, you would have been able to see something very similar to what our parents' lifetime, our government's, no, so our grandparents' lifetime has seen. In the so-called the baby boomer generation, the property rise, and how that actually makes many people millionaires through the process of inflation and all kinds of other factors. So we have had so much opportunity taken away from us, and right now, I'm not sure about you, but in the places that I live in Singapore, and recently in Thailand as well, transfers outside of the country are starting to get heavily regulated. For example, when we make an overseas fund transfer, now we start to have to fill out questionnaires. If we send Western Union, we have to fill out questionnaires. We need invoices. It didn't used to be required, but now it is. I mean, KYC, whatever they call it, and now it's really strange. Being a Singapore citizen, in my Singapore bank account, there was once that I ever had banking suspended until I filled out a form that was compulsory for everyone in Singapore, to actually fill out whether we are a US person. It's a US person questionnaire, and subsequently after that, we even had I thought getting out of Singapore was it, but when I came to Thailand, I was surprised when I had to fill out a similar questionnaire as well. What the heck? All right, so. And then when it comes to binary options and trading, and I teach binary options and trading in this channel, and in Singapore, so many people are into binary options trading, and then we start seeing propaganda. You know, all it takes is like one scam broker out there that actually took someone's money. They just make a big news, blow it out of proportion, and then it kind of like, you know, like what's the point of that, you know? Because they know for a fact that people are just already investing in binary options. They're already trading binary options with offshore brokers, and they're not just about to stop. So over time, they will kind of like, you know, let up restrictions of the forex brokers leverage in Singapore. Last time, like GFT, they used to have only like what, 1 to 50 leverage, but now I think they're allowed to do like 1 to 200. But if they're operating out of Singapore, if people sign up an offshore account, they can still get more leverage, like 400 or 500 something like that. But you know, like now I'm speaking back on this topic of binary options trading, like I mean the propaganda that goes out there, and the fact that in the banking methods are so significantly reduced. Like I'm not sure about your country. Maybe once again you can comment below where you live, and if you use a broker like IQ option, pocket option, expert option, let me know how many deposit withdrawal methods that you actually get to receive or get to use over there. Like for example, like for IQ option, for me as a Singapore citizen, I noticed that now my withdrawal methods are cut by half. I look at my wife's one, it's a Thai-based account. It's most of the methods are still there, but for mine it's like cut by half. And you know, like it's also like it's using like e-wallet transfer kind of thing where the rate is not really good. So like there's just so much control by the various governments trying to prevent the outflow of cash from the country. I mean, they know that people are not going to stop, so they're trying to make it difficult. And I wonder why that is. Okay, like why should we be held responsible for the mistakes of the governments? Okay, I mean, aren't we citizens the same as our parents and grandparents? Why don't we have the same rights to own property, to own multiple properties without having to pay a stamp duty? Why don't we have the same rights to be able to, you know, like to be able to, you know, invest overseas? Like I remember one rule, and back in Singapore, let's say if we invested in any overseas property, even if it was just a studio apartment in like a third world developing country like Vietnam, and that would actually invalidate, and they had the right to, you know, take away our government subsidized housing if we bought an apartment, which is not cheap, by the way. It starts at like, you know, 150k USD, and the one that I lived in was for about 400k USD. Wasn't cheap, and ironically, well, over here it's not too much more than that. For you know, more than double the space and like 3 times the land. All right, so like there's so much opportunity that is being taken away, and why do they want to limit our ways? Why do they want to clip our wings? You know, when we're trying our best. I mean, like there was opportunity back then in the day. Can you think about, let's say maybe 10 years ago, anyone who came on the internet, if they wanted to like make an online business, it was easy. Competition was low, and you know, like maybe even the service providers didn't know how to price themselves because like Google didn't know how effective the advertising was going to be for businesses, so they underpriced themselves. Or let's say Facebook advertising in infancy, it was cheap, but it no longer is. Like if you own a business, you may realize that if you start running Facebook ads or Instagram ads to promote your business, once they realize that you're doing well, you're trying to scale it, and they start increasing the cost of your clicks. But then again, if that is your main source of traffic for customers, then you know, what choice do you have? You just have to kind of like suck it up. You just have to make it part of your working expense. And I mean, is that fair? Like, in order to get the same results as our parents did, our grandparents did, without lifting a finger, we gotta get super creative. All right. And like, you know, I in binary options, I've seen so many people. And by the way, there's good news, by the way, for those of you who are in like United States, Canada, Europe, UK, there are ways to continue trading it. There are ways of continuing to allow you to profit from these things. They are regulated as well. So, I mean, that's going to be the next thing I'm going to talk about. But you know, like up to that point, you know, look at all the drama in the industry, all the brokers being weeded out, and so on and so forth. Wow, I mean, like, you know, why? You're wondering like why is it like us against the world kind of thing. But if it's us against the world, okay, then so be it. I mean, what is our choices? I mean, we have a choice to get frustrated and mad about it, okay? And I am indeed passionately upset But at the same time, like, I am committed. What I feel about it, it's like I'm like just you know imagine if there was imagine if a punching bag had a life in it. Or let's say, imagine a dog that's originally adorable, originally obedient, but for whatever reason, dog gets kicked for fun by the owner. The own Initially he thinks, well, owner gives me food, I'm just gonna take it. And then over time, the owner does not give the dog food, chases the dog out of the house, still continues to kick it. The dog still stays around, doesn't know where else to go, in the hope of food, still gets kicked every single day. If that wasn't enough, like maybe, instead of being given food, the dog gets like splashed with like, hot water or oil. Dog gets pissed, still gets beat out on a daily basis. What do you think is gonna happen? All that pent up anger and frustration, boom, So it's like, what is the difference that we want to make today? What difference do you want to make today? To kind of like explode out of this oppression that we're getting. Did you know that even the U.S. elections, for those of you in the United States, I know U.S. is just beginning to be the morning right now. Did you know, like, if you look at this thing, like, it's like Project Veritas. Look at Project Veritas, and it's regarding like how Google used like some kind of algorithmically, okay, showed certain articles and not certain articles during the U.S. elections, and you thought it was a fair election. Well, it's a lot fairer than elections here in Thailand, but was it really that fair? Was it really that unbiased? Why was it that some websites never saw the light of day? For the same matter, like, why is it, like, if you own a Facebook page, why is it that you don't get as many organic likes as you used to anymore? The ways that it's worked has changed. How are we gonna strike out against all of that? Okay, I want to tell you guys that we have the opportunity to strike out against all that today. And if they're trying to make us play a different game, if they're gonna leave us with like one pony, like, rather than a whole army of horses that we can use, if it's gonna be a one pony, so be it. If they're gonna drive us down a narrow path, so be it. All right, let's step up to all of that challenge, and let's make a difference. Okay, how are we gonna do that? We're gonna continue to do what we love to do. And if we love trading, okay, we're gonna trade. If the brokers, are scared to accept customers in a certain country anymore, we'll find different ones. Now we've seen like brokers operating off the blockchain, like Spectre AI, okay, and now like pocket options come up. Pocket options accepting people from even Canada as well, okay, and United States. I have actually left out United States for the longest period of time. Why? Because like, for the longest time, there was still brokers we could use. Like there was like Marcusville, there was BOL Financial, but now there's no more. So what are we left with? Regulated ones, Nadex. So today, I want to actually also announce that for those of you who live in the US and the only broker that you can use as regulated is Nadex, all right? And you're sick and tired of all these scammy brokers that take your money, like they give you the highest payouts on screen, but do they ever pay you out? Let's try initiating a bank and draw and see what happens, right? But now there is Nadex. It's been around, but I have ignored it for some time. But you know what? Let's do this, all right? I'm so encouraged by the fact that you guys have been still subscribed to my channel all this while, still watch my videos. I see the kind of traffic stats that I get, like, you hear me talking about binary like day in day out, even though you can't trade it. That's a lot of heart, and that's a lot of heart. There's a lot of respect for you guys, mad respect for your passion. Okay, let's do this. And if you saw my Facebook profile post on my private page, and also on the Facebook page for the Binary Lab, I posted something. Even for the folks in the United States, I'm setting this up, all right? And all I need is 10 people who are super committed. Okay, we're gonna figure out the thing together. We're gonna figure out just how I'm gonna transpose all my strategies, because I'm very sure that the strategies that I've developed are inter-applicable. They are universally applicable. But we're just gonna find out how we're gonna transpose out that platform. Well, you guys know I play a DJ. I play like the DJ system as well. And if you ever see in the DJ console, man, that's hard and complicated. But you know what? With good instruction, I had 2 teachers on this, and I figured it out. And now I know every button, every knob like the back of my fingers, every single option there like the back of my hand, literally. And what if we could do that for Nadex as well? All right. So some of us, we've just been playing small because we're just worried. When's this broker going to close out? No, we're going to do it. We're going to do it their way. If they give us one way, we're going to do it their way. So let's do it their way. And let's say, if you come from a country like Singapore where they're taking away all our payment, deposit, and withdrawal methods, and restricting only the ones that have really bad rates, you know what? Let's just make more money, right? If they're sick and tired of us, getting distracted from our jobs because we're not going to contribute to the GDP, because we were just trading overseas, we're taking money out of the country and trading overseas and making money. Damn it, let's just make money and just quit those damn jobs, all right? Who's with me to kind of fight the forces of the society evil, okay? Let's just do this shit. All right, peace out. This is Junior from the Binary Lab.